Welcome back to the Asian Youth Sport Climbing Championship. Right now, you are watching the Youth Olympic qualifications held in Singapore. So, on the screen, already starting their climb right after their bouldering session is Korin Kojima from Japan, as well as Daiichi Nakashima from Japan. Very, very steady clip on their first clip, just hanging on, as well as Korin Kojima.
So this is the final discipline for the day, and it will be, then they will tally the final score to get the combined ranking.
And Korin in a safe position, just a comfortable position for her to find the next move.
So the difference in bouldering and lead climbing is that our climbers only get one chance to climb this, so once they fall off.
And unlike speed climbing, bouldering and lead requires a lot of coordination, a lot of reflexes, and very, very controlled movements, just reading the routes, and of course, doing very well.
For
Daiichi.
For our male climbing, the wall that they are climbing right now actually increases in its incline as they go higher.
And for the females, don't be fooled by the fact that Korin looks very comfortable on the wall. The route goes from the right to the left, so you see a drag from the rope. The rope drag would increase as she moves onto the wall.
Yeah, just now I was observing this route for the female climbers, and I see that it goes in a zigzag way. So they start on the right, they go to the left, and then they go back to the right, and the end is actually all the way to the left as well.
That's right. So while she has to tackle the rope drag, she has to overcome the fact that these moves are really huge, and we've seen all these dual texture tiles around since the start of our climbs for this Asian Youth Championship. And we know very well that they are a huge problem for many of our competitors, many of our climbers.
And the endurance is gonna get tested because even though the wall is about 15 meter to 16 meter high, if the route goes zigzag, actually they're covering more distance as they climb up.
And that's right. And also for the ladies, there's actually a little incline in the wall. If you're not able to see it, the wall is tilted slightly. So there's a little added incline, which adds to the difficulty. But doing very well on their climb is Korin Kojima as well as Daiichi.
So we can see the top hold inside for the lead wall for the male category. Daiichi looking steady on this wall right now.
Just very close to the end, just 4 clips away. And of course Korin. So now the rope needs to go to the right, but instinctively her body is on the left. Very nice clipping, very practiced movements, and of course Daiichi.
It's really important for our climbers to be efficient in their clipping to save time and energy as they climb up. They want to minimize the effort that they put in on this so that they can put all that energy into climbing.
That's right, but a very, very good job by Daiichi up onto the lead walls. So what happens is for these lead routes, while these climbers are climbing as high as they can, they are also trying to reach the top as fast as they can, because in the event of a tie in terms of points from the climbers, the time will be taken into account. So we've seen Daiichi doing really, really steadily, very, very good climbs all the way, just finding his resting spot before the final crux of the problem.
So you can see what
very
Korin
huge
is
mental.
stepping. What Korin is stepping up right now, just now, the simple tile. She was only stepping the green part.
And you see her left hand, just fingers, little catches on the tile, clipping herself in first so that she doesn't waste energy when she's holding on to the volumes. We know the volumes are really difficult to hold.
So all eyes on Daiichi, and there is a slip from Korin.
Very, very good job nonetheless. Very close to the end.
And right now, Daiichi making his way to the top. There are 2 small crimps.
So this is the part he has to be very controlled. He cannot be reckless. So he needs the top.
He gets 1 hand in and 2 hands, and there we go.
And with that clip right there, it is a top from Daiichi.
And this is only
very,
a
very
first
good time.
climber.
And this is only the first climber. So I guess you can say that from the performance so far, Daichi is doing really, really well. Very, very strong climber, securing himself a very good spot in the leads. And of course, the same for Kareen, going really far for the first climbs of the day for the league qualifiers of the YOG Games.
So how the selection work is that our Youth A athletes that have been competing the past 4 days, their scores were combined in the ranking for lead, speed, and bouldering. That is why they are able to qualify for today's selection. And the winner of this event for the YOG selection will be able to go to Buenos Aires for the Youth Olympic Games that is happening next year. And this is only the first qualification round for YOG, so there are many more events. However, if they really want to secure their place into the YOG, this is a really good platform, and we can see there are 6 athletes that have been competing since morning, starting with the speed discipline, really wants this spot for themselves and to have the honor to represent their country as well as Asia in the world stage. And right there, replay of Daichi Nakashima's stop, doing Japan really proud.
And of course, up next is our pair from Kim Lan from Korea for the ladies, and as well as Mizuki Tajima already on his climb. Mizuki Tajima definitely feeling the pressure after knowing where Daichi has gone so far for his climb at the leads. And Kim Lan,
so these movements are definitely not easy to do, and it also testing their endurance, so they must be able to last the entire route since they only have one go at this.
of course, Kim Lan, very smooth.
So it's really important for climbers to find good resting points as they move on. And definitely as they continue this climb, they expend more energy. So they have to pace themselves to make sure that they can last the entire route. And added difficulty are the dual texture tiles from Simple. So right now, for example, what Kim Lan is holding, the top part of those triangular volumes are actually very smooth. They have marble-like texture.
That's why she's pinching the underside. And of course, avoiding the blue ones. I mean, there's nothing on the blue ones. So as much as we've seen so far, even Kareen is avoiding the blue tiles. So we know the dual texture tiles are really, really a huge problem for many of our climbers. And doing really steady, Mizuki Tajima. It's a very safe clip, very comfortable position.
So right now what we are seeing in today's event for the YOG selection is actually a glimpse on what it might be like for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, as the athletes that will be competing there also have to do all three disciplines.
It's a very nice cross clipping, very strong lock.
For the male routes on the right, we can see that the incline of the wall is starting to increase.
And of course the volumes, the shadowless volumes with nothing to crimp on, just completely relying on your ability to catch the tiles. The wrist movement here for the men is getting heavier and heavier. Gonna be a double clipping from Mizuki.
So our climbers are not allowed to skip a quick draw. Skipping quick draw could lead to disqualification round.
So actually for the male route, it's very bouldery, if I were to say.
Yeah.
All these volumes, very controlled movements at the same time. While it's not explosive, they are very big moves. But for the ladies, there's a lot of micro beta around.
Yes.
There's a lot of switching around from the right weights to the left weights, as well as the left back to the right, because of the way the route is structured. And like right now, you see Kim Lan.
So right now we are seeing Kim Lan trying shifting to the right again, because the route is moving towards the right once again. So this zigzag position of the route is increasing the distance that our climbers have to climb up.
The distance that we'll cover, and at this point in time, what Karine did earlier was to mantle up on the volume on the right. So Kim Lan just shaking off her fatigue from long days of climbing.
Mizuki just shaking off 2 more clips, the second last one and the last clip towards the end.
So also at the comfortable position as what Daichi did earlier, just resting, the only resting spot so far that we've seen both of them use.
Kim Lan slowly inching.
Very good catch by her right feet. And will he be doing another mental off? Yep. Wow.
So we can see a really high heel hook done by Mizuki. So it's really a show of flexibility.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
Slightly different, but nonetheless very efficient. And a very close call by Kim Lan.
And right now Mizuki, no hands on the wall just now, just shaking off, finding a comfortable position, trying to shift his weight right now to the right. He is really close to the top, but this move looks really dicey for him. Just recall that Daichi Nakashima finished this lead route.
And then taking his time, Mizuki Tajima. You can see the stress on his left fingers.
Yeah, he's trying to transfer the weight from his left to the right.
But at the same time, we know that there's a rope drag. You can see the rope just in between his feet right now. Trying to not get his feet caught.
Just standing right there.
Very strong
Steady.
control of his own body.
So he has a few footholds on the right hand side.
And he's just clipping in without having to hold on to anything. Very strong balance, very good core balance.
And on a female climber side, we now have Ko Kyungran from Korea starting her climb.
And that is the time for Mizuki Tajima. So 6 minutes was up. And so he is asked to come down because the 6 minute mark has been called. So either way, still a very, very good progress.
So his last point of contact before the time is up will be his maximum point on this climb. And right now all eyes on Ko Jongran, making her way in those triangular volumes. So this is the last category that they have to do today before they can take a really long break. I think it will be a really well-deserved break for our Youth A athletes. They've been climbing 5 days consecutively.
Of course, Jongran.
And this event is brought to you by IFSC Asia together with Kailas and Gecko King, held here in Singapore, right here at Gorilla Climbing Gym. Together in support of Singapore Mountaineering Federation as well as Sport Singapore, bringing you this event right here. You can see Jongran doing consistent work on this problem. So our previous climbers just now, Karine and Kim Lan, actually fell off just about in the same point. I think Karine was a bit higher. I think she gets a higher point than Kim Lan.
Yes, definitely. Karine had positive movement on the 2 tiles away from where Kim Lan fell, so that will be a good scoring for her. But of course, we have Jongran.
And coming in right now doing his lead route would be Keita Dohei from Japan.
In the beta that Keita actually just did, it's a lot. It's quite taxing on the left arm because he locked entirely before he double clipped. So while it saves him energy and time when he goes up higher, but to have done that, it takes a lot of energy on the left. Yeah, very, very steady move.
So right now, Jongran is approaching the part of shifting to the right side of the wall. And after these 2 huge green volumes, is actually the part where most of our climbers found a bit of difficulty.
That's right, and a very comfortable position. And managing her way up, Jongran.
Just trying to change it into a push right there on her right hand. So she has to make sure that she clip in first before she
moves on for the next
yeah,
time.
if she moves on too high, it'll be it might penalize her. And right now we are looking at Keita holding on to those crimps.
It's Keita.
So those handholds are not good. They're just enough for your fingertips. And the wall is also increasing in its incline.
And the ladies just facing rope drag at this point in time.
So I think this would be one of the crux for our female climbers right here.
Very, very good call by Keita. And resting out her fatigue is Jongran.
So the next foothold for Jongran on the right side, the next triangular. Okay, so Jongran actually just slipped off, lost her balance as she approached the tile on the right side. Keita making good progress on his lead route.
Still with some time for himself.
Most of our competitors, the last 2 climbers, have reached this part as well, with Daichi finishing it all the way to the top.
But if you've seen, he actually used the left toe hook. Very good with his toe hooks. Very steady. So this is the part where we've seen Mizuki spend a little too much time resting, trying to figure out the beta over here. And similarly, Keita resting.
I think he's asking how much time he has left.
Yes, he's asking how much time he has left to check himself.
Daichi actually climbed this route quite fast.
Really fast. Daichi took about maybe 20 seconds rest on this portion before he started to mental and power through. But of course, the amount of control.
So now we are seeing that heel hook again. This is the part where Mizuki struggled a bit because his sit-in was stuck, so he needed to turn out so that he can stand up, and then his time ran out.
Yeah, and Mizuki tried to do a cross left like this, so that when he swings, he goes to the right. But he was a little less confident than what we see from Keita and Daichi so far. Very good progress by Keita. Very close.
So Keita is trying very hard not to slip off that foothold. The incline on this part of the wall is really, really high right now, the degree of the incline. So it's really important to try to keep your core as close to the wall as possible. Keita inching it closer towards the top.
But still a very good effort by Team Japan for the male. for the male Youth Olympics selection. He's come a very long way since the first day of climbing with us, through the leads as well as the bouldering and of course the speeds, and finally for the YOG selections itself. Very, very good effort by Team Japan. Very, very good effort by Keita Dohei.
So this is the starting tiles for our female lead route, and the next climber would be Son Sunga from Korea, and from China for the male YOG selection lead we will have Song Hualong from China. So those are coming out our last 3 climbers.
So the start list for our lead YOG selection is based on their rankings for both speed climbing as well as the bouldering discipline that just happened right this morning. So coming up next for our next climbers in the leads qualification round are the top 3 qualifiers based on their speed and bouldering results. So on screen we see Hua Long just reading the route. A very powerful start, bouldery start I would say. So I've talked to some of the route setters. One of them mentioned that this starting route for, the starting position for the male boulders is meant to be very bouldery, very big moves. And of course Senga on her starting. Just finding his resting spot is Hua Long. Very good catch there by Hua Long to the set of volumes.
Tai Chi made this lead route look easy with his onside on this route.
And of course, Senga doing the same thing as what our previous climbers have done, just avoiding all the blue triangular simple tiles. Very intricate stepping, very precise movements by Senga.
So our route setters right here that come from across the region working together to bring these routes for our climbers really thought through these moves and to make sure that our climbers are tested fully.
They put in a lot of effort, definitely.
And to test all of their capabilities. And we have seen them give us a good show in the speed and bouldering. So this is the final one for them.
So pinching on to the tiles. Senga finding resting spots as much as she can. Just reaching out in very precise movements. And reaching next to the crimps. Hua Long.
So these athletes that you are seeing right now were the top 6 in the combined ranking for the Youth A category for Asian Youth Championship. So this group of people are the best of the age. These climbers are born between 2000 and 2001. Really very young.
And a very calculated move by Hua Long, a little risky. That was it from Hua Long. So it was very risky for him to have done that move because it's very, very strong for... He's very, very strong, but because of the way the wall is inclined, at the same time, he's been climbing for a while, plus a little distance on the wall. So by the time he reached there, he was trying to lather up the long strip of tile, but he couldn't catch it very nicely. He couldn't find a resting spot on the volume, so he tried to just lunge for that volume. The next crimp.
And for the female lead route, we have yet to see anyone get past that part on the right side later on with the two grey tiles.
But if lots of time left for her, Son Seung-ah.
So we shall see if Son Seung-ah will be the first one to break this streak of falling off those two volumes that we're seeing on the screen right now.
But first she's got to clip herself.
And we have to remind you that our climbers had been climbing since morning. And right now local time is 2 p.m. here in Singapore. In addition, these climbers had been here since 5th July, climbing for the Youth Championships qualification round. Right now on your screen we have Huang Tichong representing China.
So Tichong had a very impressive.
That's really good.
That
Just
was-
sitting on the volume.
Yeah, that was really very efficient way of trying to climb. So Tichong had a very good results from the bouldering routes,
Yeah.
especially the third route. So we'll see how he progresses in the fighting against fellow man Yu Fei for the leads position. He's finding the sweet spot on the volume.
So right now we are looking at Son Seung-ah. This is the part where a lot of climbers find a bit of a difficulty. You have yet to see a female athlete get past this clip. And as for the guys, only Daichi has finished the climb.
But Mizuki and Keita were really close by. Unfortunately for Mizuki though, I mean he's gone really far, but time was against him. So either way, very good job by Team Japan.
And right now we will see Seung-ah manage this movement right here. That's proven difficult for other climbers. So if you're joining us and watching right now, so the next foothold actually only has a strip of green foothold.
Of course, Tichong. So that was it from Seung-ah. Time's up. But still a valiant effort by Son Seung-ah from Korea. And going ahead is Tichong with lots of time left for himself. He's brisking on the wall. Volume.
He would need to clip in that clip before all his limbs get too high.
Get past.
Yeah, they can't get past the clip.
So probably found himself in a very nice position. So a double clip for him.
So our climbers really definitely want to get as high as possible, as lead route climbing works in a system of point system. So each move is given a point.
So Tichong for you. Huge slip up by him, narrowly missing the towel. And, still a very good job from Huang Tichong. There was a huge slam on the wall though.
Yeah.
Hope he's alright. Because we'll be seeing him more we'll be seeing him more coming up in the youth qualifications. As this is only the first round of the Youth Olympics qualifications, there will be a lot more coming up. So we'll be seeing all these familiar faces again. And joining us is our strongest climbers from the lead and boulder. Coming in second from the qualifications for our earlier disciplines would be Yiling for the ladies. And of course, Yu Fei for the men.
Yufei will be the last climber of the day for the male YOG selection. We still have Mao Nakamura coming up after Song Yiling.
So it's a fight between these climbers.
As only one will be able to compete in 2018, the winner of this YOG selection. So this event is brought to you by IFSC Asia. And right now we are here at Gorilla Climbing Gym here in Singapore. So this is the biggest indoor air-conditioned climbing gym.
So don't be fooled by what you see on screen, because all these climbers have been climbing day and night every day since 5th of July. In fact, some of them have been climbing since the 4th of July, depending on their qualifications as well as the finals, and of course literally every day to train for themselves as they prepare for this very day.
And on the screen right now, Song Yiling and Pan Yufei representing China.
You can see the amount of determination on Yufei. So doing very well so far. The top qualifier, in fact, after rounds of the after the rounds of the speed and bouldering. And now Yiling.
And for the male youth lead route, only Daichi has finished it
In time.
and Yufei would need to match up to that to be able to have a good score for the overall ranking.
In fact, for Yufei, if he does finish the route, he would be tied with Daichi in terms of points, and then it will be down to the amount of time they took. So time is also of the essence here for Yufei. Looking very steady up to this point, Yiling as well as Yufei. Very nice sit. He's got to transfer his power. Oh, he's gonna clip first before he transfers his power up towards the strip.
Really nice heel hook done by Yufei. Really stable. And you can see that the wall is increasing in its incline.
Very neat clip by Yiling. Very confident. Very good route reading, in fact, for Yiling. So she found the most comfortable position to be in on the wall. And of course, Yufei doing really well so far in terms of time and distance.
So you can see Yufei really making his attempts count on this route, making precise movement and as quickly as he can. As our climbers are aware that time is also a factor in their climb for this lead route. It will affect the score. It's always very frustrating when you are asked to come down because of the time, knowing that you might be able to finish the route if you have just climbed a bit faster.
Or you would have done better if you had more time.
Yeah.
Yiling.
So they really have to be efficient in the way they climb.
Now Yufei, a very different way of holding on to that towel for now.
Yeah, really resting his entire biceps over there.
Doing a little stretch probably.
Yeah.
And Yiling, one clip away from the crux.
Yufei taking a little break, but he can't take too long as he wants to finish this route on time. Strong mental right there. He needs to get his right leg to hook properly.
So I gotta find the position. Very nice catch. Slowly shifting his weight. Well done. So he's not wasting time at all
Yeah.
at this moment. Ealing.
Ife is making his way to the 3 crimps right before the end tile.
So the crowd is going crazy. You can hear the crowd.
This is a defining moment right here. And
Wow.
there we go.
So he's got to clip in, and it will be a top if he clips it in. Very narrowly missing it.
And
Yufei for you with a top from China, and of course Yiling doing really well, also from Team China. And that was it for the male category for the YOG selections happening at the Asian Youth Sport Climbing Championship.
We still have one more.
And of course, coming up next is our strongest contender, Mao Nakamura from Japan. Just look at him very confidently reaching out for the towel and hanging off the balance. And there it is.
It's a much stable move towards the end tile as compared to Daichi.
It was so close that he almost missed the clip. So if he missed the clip, it wouldn't be a top. It would just be a positive movement with a plus.
So Daichi actually launched for the last tile, and then his left leg came off, and he has to immediately step back on the crimp. As for Ife, his left leg actually stuck the black ball before the end move. So it's different ways of doing it. So you can see that our climbers have different style, and they use whatever they can to their advantage. Right now we are waiting for our last climber. We have yet to see a top for the lead route. So I think everyone is waiting and hoping that Mao Nakamura will be able to finish this one.
That's right. I mean, she's managed to finish the ladies' route for the bouldering one that a lot of our climbers had difficulty with. So we'll see if she can repeat that feat. All eyes on Mao.
Really nice how our route setters also think how to make the route look aesthetically pleasing.
So like the little star right there that we see.
Our route setters are a very creative bunch. Definitely not just in a way that they're making this event challenging for our strong athletes.
And of course, really, really great how the tiles have been evolving over the years. I mean, especially in this comp, we keep seeing all the simple tiles just really posing as a huge challenge for all our climbers.
So it's no longer just the route setters that are thinking of ways of how they can challenge and test our climbers even more. Even our route setters are finding ways, looking for innovation that we can develop this sport further.
And a huge test of their skills as they whisk across the wall, trying to find the best position to be in as Mao Nakamura is right now. Very quick on her feet, very sure-footed. So this is the kind of move that she's really good at, those tensioning on her shoulders and moving. So I won't be surprised if she does this really easily. Like that. Very, very good control of herself.
Yeah.
She's got to be very patient.
It's definitely a skill to be able to change from a pull move to a push.
And especially on a volume with so little contact.
So this is the part where most of our climbers found difficulty. Nobody has gotten past this point of clip. So we are hoping that Mao Nakamura will show us and unlock this route for us.
Just finding her resting spot before she moves on to the last few clips of her route. It's been a long route for all our ladies.
Yes.
Slightly longer than the guys' routes in a sense. It whisks from the left to the right, so they have been forced to go in this direction towards the next. And definitely huge moves with very, very strong microbetas necessary in order to execute each move. Very nice reach. So we'll see if she would be clipping herself in before she moves to the next, as what Karine did. And that's Mao. And here's the problematic ones, the volume.
Very nice.
So the problematic one comes in with the volume.
So currently she is doing the lead.
Very, very nice catch there. And of course, oh, so close. So that was 2 tiles away. Very, very nice job from Mao. Very, very close. The furthest we've seen so far for the ladies in the YOG selection for lead route. And just look once again. Very, very nice catch from her right cross.
So she has attained the highest score so far.
Just 2 tiles away. And that was it from Mao. And you can tell that she's really happy with her climb so far. And just what we've seen earlier, she's a very, very happy person. It's a very serious look on her face, but once she gets off the wall, she's just really friendly. It's a very, very good performance by Mao in the Asian Youth Championships this year. And coming up next, we have another climb by one of our climbers. And of course, before anything else, we have to thank IFSC Asia for bringing us this really, really exciting event happening right here in Singapore.
Local time now is 2:25 p.m. So if you are still with us, do let us know where you are from, what time it is, and do give us a like. This is the last day of our event. We have been here since 5th July for the Asian Youth Championships, and we have seen all this talent from our young climbers, showing how the future of the climbing scene is really bright. And in 2018, we are looking forward to the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, as well as in 2020, the Olympics at Tokyo.
So by the time of the 2020's Olympics, I wouldn't be surprised if I see all these climbers over there again. I mean, they're really young, got lots of potential in them, and to have come all the way to where they are now in this championships alone, it has been an amazing feat. We would see them around more often, definitely. And once again,
This is Daiichi.
beautiful finish by Daiichi. Yeah, huge sense of relief. And again from Yufei. So for both Yufei and Daiichi, it comes down to time. And for that, we would be looking at the IFSC live the live score very, very soon to see who came out first for the leads.
And right now we are just waiting for the judges to finalize the scores. And IFSC Asia is actually an international non-governmental non-profit organization whose main objective is to promote the competitive climbing around the world. The last 2 decades have been a period of spectacular growth for both sport climbing and the organization. And sport climbing has gained credibility not only as a competitive sport, but also for its social values. And the IFSC is a young and healthy federation founded on modern sporting principles and values, cultivating them along with sport growth and development. Supported by IFSC Asia is supported by Singapore Mountaineering Federation, and their mission is to promote climbing excellence through mass participation by promoting exciting and cutting-edge programs for Singapore community. And together with Sport Singapore, a statutory board of the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth Sport, their core purpose is to inspire the Singapore spirit and transform Singapore through sport. So Sport Singapore worked really hard to create a network of public, private, people sector to better the sports here in Singapore. So right now you can see that different countries here watching their teammates.
I mean, we've seen so far the climbers from Korea, Japan and China. But of course, for the past few days, we've seen really, really strong climbers from all over Asia, including India, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and of course, homegrown talents, Singapore. It's really, really nice to see all these climbers from all over the region just coming together and in the spirit of a sport itself, make friends all over the world, just exchanging tips and growing stronger together, climbing together, just bettering each other and improving overall as a sport. As we see the sport of climbing evolve, we've also seen the routes getting better and better, more challenging, more interesting, and as the tiles design becomes more and more challenging for all our climbers. A huge, huge evolvement from what it was 10 years ago.
So there's just some final deliberation on the scoring, and there is
Son Seung-ah with an appeal from the judges,
and therefore she'll be given another chance to climb this route.
Son Seung-ah. So it may be a good thing in a sense. She has already done this route once. She's a little more familiar than previously, so it's not as much of a surprise to her as she moves on the wall now. Just a little more familiar. She's gotta get herself up as fast as possible because in this appeal, time is shorter than previously. Of course, I'm moving very, very strong. Just moving again. Son Seung-ah, very, very nice moves.
So our climbers have been climbing since 5th July, so it has been 5 days of non-stop action right here at Gorilla Climbing Gym. So if you are here in Singapore,
the time now is 2:30 p.m. They've been climbing and in isolation since this morning at 9 a.m. It's 5 hours of isolation and climbing and mental preparation just for this moment to get that chance to represent Asia in the Youth Olympic Games.
And this is actually a glimpse of how it will work in the YOG as well as in the Olympics, where our climbers need to be able to be
to be all-rounded in all three disciplines.
They must be versed in all three and be able to have a combined score in all discipline. So for the YOG, actually 22 male and 17 female can compete, and this is only the first qualifications. So other regional and international competition will be held as well and will be used as qualification rounds for the Youth Olympic Games. However, the winner of this particular event will have secured and confirmed the spot for the YOG, and for those who have yet to confirm the spot, they would have to compete again in other regional or continental events.
So this is the part where Seung-ah took a little more time to rest and move on to her towel before she was called down. Very nice footing.
It's definitely exhausting to climb this route once again.
The accumulated fatigue from this morning speed as well as bouldering, and then to have to climb the same route again. So it's trying not to commit the same mistake as before. Seung-ah.
So the right hand need to change into a push. There we go.
It's a controlled move. Very nicely done.
Really requires a lot of flexibility right there.
So this is the part where the wall starts getting a lot more inclined than we've seen. And it gets more difficult from here. Most of our female climbers failed to get past this wall. Excuse me, get past this tile. She's got to shift her left leg up higher to get to the right. Managing to clip in very nicely.
Definitely a climber is feeling a bit pumped. The build up of the exhaustion from the start till the end of this route will definitely affect her, and right now she must have the mental grit and the tenacity to continue to accumulate more points.
Is that right here?
So her teammates can be heard from here cheering her on.
Very, very nicely done. But oh, so close once again by Seung-ah. Nonetheless, a very, very good job by all our females for the Youth Olympic Games selection, the lead discipline.
So just a replay of what happened. She kind of kicked off her own left hand as she stepped up with the left leg. So this part really looks really good. Managed to control that swing. So she stepped up and she kind of slipped off
She
and her
lost
left hand.
the grip on the left. So of course, this morning, all the way to what you're seeing now, we have seen climbers from all over the region, namely Karine Kojima, Kim Lan, Kyo Jong-ran, Son Seung-ah, Song Yi-ling, as well as Mao Nakamura, having climbed the speed as well as bouldering, and finally the lead selections. And of course, for the males, we have seen Daiichi Nakashima, Mizuki Tajima, Keita Dohei, Song Hua Long, Huang Dichong, Pan Yufei climbing for the male category. So our top contender from these two categories will be securing themselves a spot in the upcoming YOG in the 2018 happening at Buenos Aires.
And we would like to thank our partners Kailas and Gecko King in support of IFSC Asia, as well as our various sponsors Gorilla Climbing Gym, All Sports Equipment, Petzl, Sport Singapore, Climbers Laboratory, Tote Board, Gear Fitters, Scapa, Build, and Eldridge.
Of course, without all our climbers, we would never be able to make this Asian Youth Sport Climbing Championship possible. So thank you for tuning in with us at Asian Youth Sport Climbing Championship Singapore 2017. We'll be seeing you very, very soon for upcoming competitions. So stay tuned.